Our mission at AiM is to improve outcomes for patients undergoing neurosurgery for functional brain disorders and cancer. And we'll do that by introducing advanced robotics to the neurosurgery suite. The origins of this technology reside in Worcester with Dr. Greg Fisher and Dr. Julie Plitzis, who are the co-inventors of the technology. In their time working on these robotic platforms, they've raised over $14 million of NIH grants, which has led to the building of working prototypes that have been used in animals and in human studies. We essentially have licensed this technology through Todd Keeler and the Tech Transfer Office at Worcester. So let's talk about the clinical challenge that we're trying to address. Today, there are millions of patients in the US alone who are suffering from these debilitating neurologic diseases. Hundreds of thousands of those on the right side of the screen here become surgical candidates when they become resistant to their drug treatments and they're looking for alternative approaches for support and help. We know, though, that despite the best efforts of industry and surgeons, there continues to be a nagging revision rate and failure rate within these procedures. And this work by Dr. Paul Larson at UCSF shows that anywhere from 15 to 34% of the time in several databases, the patients are coming for a revision surgery, meaning the first surgery failed. And we know the implication of that to patients, to providers, and to payers. The current standard, called stereotactic surgery, was born around in the early 1980s and still exists today, where the patient comes in for a preoperative scan. That information is then led through a planning program, and coordinates are given to the surgeon in the operating room. The surgeon constructs manually this frame in the back room or the back table of the operating room. And it's a complicated, manual, sometimes 2-hour process to prepare this frame, which becomes the guiding instrument for the surgery. Our solution is to bring robotics, advanced robotics, into the space, in particular robots that can be used inside of an MRI scanner, and we can replace the antiquated approach to these surgeries. Think of it in terms of, in trying to simplify it, think of what they do today as Google Maps in 2005, which we all thought was great because we plotted into our car and it could get us there. But if we ever ran into traffic or a detour, we really struggled to find the alternative route. What we're trying to do today is be the Waze of, in this case, neurosurgery, where the robot and the MRI together can get real-time data and move and adjust the instruments and the targeting as necessary to keep the surgeon on course towards the spot that they really need to treat in the brain. So we believe the value proposition of bringing advanced robotics into this space will drive better outcomes, reduce the risk to the patient, reduce procedure time, allow the procedure to be done potentially in a lower cost environment. We think it's attractive to patients and to hospital administration. In terms of some of the business fundamentals we're working off of, we've identified about a $2.2 billion total available market for this surgical robot in the neurosurgery space. We have consulted with FDA experts in the Boston market here, and they've written us an opinion that they believe that we will be a Class 2 510K device, not needing human clinical trials. So from a funding and timing standpoint, this is a great position for us as a company. Through the work of Dr. Plitzis and Dr. Fisher, there have been 3 patents already issued, 7 filed, and we continue to file additional patents as AiM Medical. So we believe we have a very upstanding patent portfolio as of today. So we talked a little bit about Dr. Fisher and Dr. Plitzis. My background, I've had over 30 years of general management and commercial leadership experience in medical devices. Most relevant, I was the Senior Vice President of Worldwide Sales for Hansen Robotics, which was a robotics company in the cardiovascular space, which was acquired by Auris Surgical back in 2016.